So how do you handle a job when you're like working on a job, you're an employee, you get your boss on the job, whether it be your direct boss or a job foreman or a lead mechanic, let's say. And let's say like you're a helper, right? And like he's telling you what to do, right? And you know, if you're a helper and you're worth anything as a future electrician, you know, like you're in school, you're learning stuff, and then you know you're learning probably some of the newer things that your job foreman or boss is, you know, a little older. He's busy running the jobs or running his business. He's not staying up on a lot of things, right? But let's say that they're directing you to do something that is outside of like what you think is right. So let's say like you're studying the code and they're having you do something that's like, this is kind of like not right, hack, right? So what do you do as a helper, right? And then what happens if you're working on a job and you're a mechanic? Like, all right, so this is my situation. So like we subbed out on a large retrofit for a mill. It's Malden Mills in Lawrence, right? Had a fire, and so like we're all working in there. We're installing all new equipment wiring for all their equipment and conveyors and stuff like that. So I know like we were on a job and we're told to like run a 3/4 inch EMT line from point A to point B, you know, and like they never mentioned anything about like, you know, what's it for. So like, you know, we're just there doing our job. So it's like we're told to run this conduit line. So we run the conduit line, and then we're told like, okay, so now run your lines. It's like, okay, what are we running into? And we're hitting all these 3-phase conveyor belt motors down another line that some other crew had installed. And so we're working out the pole, and we're finding out that the 3/4 inch line is undersized, right? So in this situation, you know, like I'm on the job, I'm in charge of my crew, we're subbing to another company, and like we're looking at this and saying like this is not right. So basically the way we went and did it was I told my direct job foreman who instructed us to do this thing that the conduit line's undersized. And he's like, oh, well, I don't know. This is what we were told to do. Because like then the plant had their own plant engineer who told him what to run. So that foreman would not do anything about it. So I went over his head and I went to the plant engineer and said, hey, listen, this 3/4 inch line's undersized for what you want to do here with all these lines coming in. Because I think we were looking at 28 number 10s or 12s or something. But it was fairly over the, you know, requirement, you know, as far as like sizing and everything, right? Well, this prick was like, just install the fucking wires, right? I'm like, oh, okay, right? So I went back to the job foreman because like it's my company now in doing these lines. I refuse to install those wires, because when there's a failure and there's a problem, it doesn't go back to that engineer because there's no documentation from this dude, right? It's gonna all fall on me. So it's like, oh, well, buckle stop on me. So basically refuse to do the install. And that caused some problems, but you know, like we wouldn't do it. They got some other guys to do it, and then I'm fine by that because we moved on to a different part of the plant and stayed busy over there and basically stayed away from this engineer who was more of an autocratic guy, not a delegator, all right? But anyways, that's a licensed guy. That's me as a licensed guy. Any licensed guy out there should do the same thing. Like if you get a boss telling you to do something that is below your standards, number one, or a code violation, and it always depends upon like the level of code violation, but like if you're talking about a safety issue or equipment problem or failure thing or damaged equipment because of poor installation, you don't want to own it. You don't want to own that. Definitely don't want to own it. So like I recommend you refuse to do the install and avoid that problem. Now, you as a helper out there, like your boss tells you to do something, you know, something, you may want to just say to him, hey, in school we learned, right? Or had you heard about this new, you know, try to be more diplomatic with him. But if he's like barks orders at you and it's just like to get by, to get through the day, right? Just do it. It's on him. You're just the helper. You're the apprentice, okay? Do your due diligence. Let him know that you know something, and if he isn't interested in listening to you, you know, maybe you're new at the job there, or maybe like, you know, he's just too busy or whatever, you know, if you can just go around and just do it properly in the way you think it should be done, you know, like, that's what I would do. But like if it's adamant and he's telling you to do something, and I know these guys, like, you know, you're an apprentice, right? But it's always the level of as far as apprenticeship. If you don't know anything, you're working right with an experienced guy. But like, you could be an experienced apprentice and working on your own in a different part of the project, right? So it's like, if you're being told to do something that you don't feel is up to spec, don't go over your boss's head. Stick with your boss. Stick with your foreman. You know, be a diplomat about it. Hey, have you heard about? Hey, did you know about this? Right? Don't be a smart aleck about it. You know, because like, these guys are busy. They don't want to hear about, like, you know, how smart you are. You know, but like, you know, all that stuff will be put in the back of that guy's head that, like, you know, he can trust you, because like, you're kind of you know, looking out for his back end, and you know something. So like, you know, don't be shy about it. Speak up, and be a diplomat about how you approach it with your boss. It'll definitely get you points there. And but again, I've worked with guys that, like, they don't want to even listen about it. They just like, just do what I told you to do, right? And it's like, okay, you know, because it's you know, push to shove, it's gonna fall back on them. You're just the helper. So, you know, just remember that you're just a helper, an apprentice on the job. Your liability on the job is minimal. So you know, you want to learn your business, learn the trade, get signed off by the guy that you get the hours in, so you can get your own license, right? But pointing out things to your boss, you know, in a polite, respectful, you know, way, go a long way. And you know, you'll find yourself gaining some respect from everyone on the job. You know, it's no good when, like, you know, if you're out there just saying like, I can't believe this guy's having me do this, you know, it's all out of code. You know, that stuff behind the guy's back is chicken shit, and it's not going to do you any favors when it really comes down to, like, you know, advancement. And also, it's like, once you start doing that, you'll fall into that victim mindset, right? Where nothing's your responsibility or your fault. And that's a bad place to be. You want to be proactive. But anyways, that's what I would recommend doing. And if you're a helper, you know, be quasi-educational on the job with your you know, your peers and your colleagues. And if you're a licensed guy, you know, it does fall on you. So I wouldn't do stuff. I wouldn't do anything that was not safe or you know, helpful for the job, because it's like you're the one who's going to own it at the end of the day. So we'll talk to you later.